Hello friends, hi friends, Sun, Moon, and Rising Scorpio. This reading is for the full moon. There's a partial lunar eclipse taking place in Capricorn. This is part of the eclipse season that we're currently in. In this one that's sandwiched in between the other two on both 6 months. So there's definitely a theme going on for us right now. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to be looking at what house this takes place in for you, and we'll be pulling some oracle cards as well as some other cards as well. So to get started, we'll talk about this is taking place in the 3rd house for you. So this is all around your mental patterns, the way that you think, the way that you communicate, maybe even the way that you study. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. My name is Misty. This is a general reading, so it may or may not apply, but we are going to be looking at the 3rd house for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Right when I said moon, I pulled the moon card. Sun, Moon, and Rising. So anyways, that was kind of funny. A little silly. We do have Mercury in retrograde too, going from the 8th till August 1st. I know everybody's Mercury retrograde, but anyway, so let's see where the cards start us. And they start us right here with the water. And it was funny, I had a lot of energy coming up to this reading. I was like shaky. I could feel all this pressure coming through, just a lot of energy moving through me. And I really feel like, and just this pressure in my head, which is funny because we're in the mental patterns, the way that we think. And that's what we're looking at right here, is the way that we think. But we're getting the water. So the water I'm seeing, water's binding. So I'm seeing it as possibly you're getting stuck, possibly that sort of thing. There's also this feeling of like what is yucky, what doesn't feel good inside of you. You want to cleanse these unwanted energies, get these unwanted energies out of you, and really release to, I feel like, I guess what I'm feeling is more like a baptism, a water baptism, working with water and cleansing some of these things, because this release of energy, this change of energy, and this mental thought patterns, it's kind of like time to clear out all of that stuff, all of those old mental patterns. Yeah, because there's almost like this stuck energy, very, very stuck. And you're ready for a rebirth. You're being called to a new area and to a new change, because this really, look how it looks like a womb, So you're in the womb, and the womb is cleansing you, and the womb is getting you ready for something. Definitely getting you ready for something. So, I mean, I could see water. I also think about the evolution of things, the way that things change and grow, and so you're getting closer to your more authentic self and who you actually are. You're getting much more closer to it. So I could see you being pulled down deeper or resonating closer to who you are. And so this is definitely representing something that you want to let go of, something that it's time to let go of. And maybe this is where your mental habit patterns are actually creating emotions in your body, and this sort of thing. And then there's some communication here. This is very blue, very throat chakra, some communications here. So I see some adjustments coming in that area around this full moon, and I'm really seeing this rhythm that feels like it's out of sync. You got the drums here. You got really a lot of elements that are working with you. I mean, like elemental energy is kind of what I'm getting. So here's this drummer, and what does this drummer represent? He's drumming, but he's in a spot here where, the first 2 cards that I pull here are cards that we're moving away from and that we're letting go. And so I'm feeling like the rhythm's out of sync. Like you're not entirely in sync with who you actually are and where you actually are in your life. And so I think acknowledging your own rhythmic patterns, your own mental patterns, whether you go from light to dark, and I say that because we got the moon card right after this one, but you go from light to dark, but there's something that you have that is your own, that is, really beautiful and maybe even weird, a little weird, but it's that authenticity. It's that level of where you are fully you. And so when something's not in tune with you and something's not in rhythm with you, it's time to acknowledge it and go, This isn't really in resonance. This actually isn't in sync with me. And knowing that you staying in that pattern where it's not actually in sync with you isn't the best thing for you. You know, and so there's a change coming. There's a change coming, and the change is coming, and it's bringing balance. You know, when I read about this card in the book, they talk about how may our lives be renewed, may our lives be changed, like the moon does, and it goes from light to dark, and it changes. You know, here it goes this way, and I really see it as a form of the psyche, going into the psyche, into the darkness, and then bringing it back out. So this moon, here we are going through a partial lunar eclipse, and right in your third house of your mental habit patterns, and I just see it going deep into your psyche, and you having this really strong mirror. Now this mirror could come outwardly from outside of you, and you might see somebody that's representing some of these things that you don't like, but you're also going to see how the deeper aspects of your psyche, you have the opportunity to see how it affects your feelings, how it affects your emotions, like what's coming from deep within, and finding the balance between light and dark, and the space between all things that are there for you. So I guess I see, like, you know, asking yourself, you know, what are areas in your life that you're not showing up as who you authentically are, as who you actually are, and allow yourself to be guided deep into the depths, to do the dance that is there for you, to go deep inside to that connection, and then bring that out to communicate. I really feel like there's some area of communication that really needs to happen, that just, it feels very, very strong, you know, and there might be something inside of you, that feels like, you know, you might need to forgive yourself. This is definitely surrounding some forgiveness for yourself, some release for yourself, which is going to be part of that rejuvenation, and part of that what's going on with the water baptism, and letting go of some areas, probably some mental thought patterns, something that you're not liking, something deep inside, and you're being called to look for the root cause. Look really deep inside of you and look for the root cause for however this behavior, however this thinking is affecting your behavior, is affecting your emotions. Go deeper within here. See really, really where it was formed, where it was birthed from, and how that maybe got you out of sync with who the authentic self of you really, really is. Now, this card is definitely a very inward card. I mean, inward reading. This reading is definitely a very inward reading, but I am seeing that it needs to be coming out in some form of communication, or that there is some sort of work to be done in the communication. I'm not sure if I showed you guys this card. I just love the vibrational patterns that this card shows from the center. I love the vibrational patterns, and that's kind of how these things ripple out from deep inside of us. And the next one that you have is the thunder. And I really find it interesting because we have the water and the moon. This one's on the bottom, this one's on the top, this one's in the west, and this one's in the east. And so you have the thunder, so drums. It's like this cracking, this wake-up call, this release of tension that almost like jolts you and shakes you out of wherever you are, and brings you to a place that's more flexible, but only because of the powerlessness. Like when you think of thunder coming through the sky, there's this feeling of having no power over it. It's a dramatic event that shakes you to your bones. And so your life is really wanting to bring in this new chapter. Oh, my friend Scorpio. I mean, that sounds so good. And so all of this, put this in the wrong spot. all of that is taking place is you needing to be less in control. It's like almost like there's this tension from wanting to be in control, and it's leading to this flexibility of the mind, flexibility, adaptability, being able to change the thinking pretty dramatically and not trying to control what's actually happening around you. I do see opportunities really, really coming, and look at your life direction. There's going to be an opportunity in July, the second half of July, leading up to the next new moon. Oh, I got mail. Leading to the next new moon, Really, you know, a change in the life direction, an opportunity to change in the life direction. Sorry, my door's right there, and I have a little mail slot, and the mailman just dropped my mail in. Yeah. I mean, there's a picture of the buffalo just running across here and really changing things, you know, really looking at things. Very interesting. And so there's an aspect of when you acknowledge your own rhythm, your own weirdness, your own beauty, when you acknowledge what is out of sync with your own rhythms and your own beauty, when you actually start to do that work, it is actually, there's some tension that has been built from this resonance or frequency where it's like, here's this thing and here's this other thing over here. And there's tension between these two vibrations. And when they get released, it's almost like there's got to be this thunder. I guess, for lack of a better word, there's got to be this thunder. So, okay. We're going to pull a couple tarot cards, my dear. I don't want to go crazy deep into it. We've gone pretty deep with just that, but I'm going to pull a bit. Let's do a past, present, future. And then maybe some clarifying cards. This is for my Scorpio friends. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Scorpios. Sun, Moon, or Rising. You know, there's quite a few retrogrades. I'm looking at the chart. You know, there's quite a few retrogrades right there taking place right around this moon. I mean, it's just really an opportunity for those past mental pattern habits for sure for you guys. Okay. That feels good. Whew. Well, for those of you that stuck around this long, thank you. Here's what you got in the past. You had a lover. A lover. So there's a foundation of some sort of situation with the lover. And there's really this offering of love that's been coming in. And, you know, maybe it's not quite mature, but this is very passionate, very loving energy. Very, very loving energy. We're definitely going to have to clarify these. And I see there being movement here. I see there being movement closer. I mean, some of you might take short trips and that sort of thing. For sure. Let's do some clarifying on these cards and look a little bit deeper. What's been going on with this lover? Yeah, I mean, I think that there's some areas where there's been some selfishness and maybe not playing nice with others, even hurting people with the words. And it's mixed into the love energy here. It's really mixed into the love energy here. And so, yes, yeah, I mean, I have to emphasize that. And so with the potential of this also comes storm clouds and things around it. Lots of things around it that are taking place. It's going to be good though. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be really good. Yeah, despite all of the things that are around it, it's almost like the creative chips get thrown in the air and you don't get to see what's next. It's like there's just this potential, this raw potential. I mean, it feels like some really big movements. For some of you, you're going to get something that you've really wanted for a long time. And for other ones of you, you're going to be brought to a new place where you can actually see what you want, or it's going to, I don't know. It's interesting because it's not showing me the next step. And I'm not going to look because you know, that's part of the adventure. That's part of the fun, is to see what happens after that. But there is, I mean, we got the Chariot card to the King, to the Knight of Pentacles. I mean, there is just, here, there's a lot of movement forward with this offering and this potential. And this, he showed up right underneath this one. Who showed up underneath this one? So we got, you know, that Eight of Wands with the Ace of Wands. I mean, that is just such strong potential. Some of you might be moving in with somebody. Some of you might be moving out with somebody. But either way, there's a big movement here. It's hard to look at it more because it is a general reading. It's hard to go, oh, this is exactly what's taking place for this person. You know, I mean, there's a lot of energies that these can show up in so many different ways simultaneously. All right, guys, Thank you so much, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hit that like, that subscribe button. Leave me a comment down below. It's nice hanging out with you guys. See you later, my friends.